Good evening to you. I'm Lisa Broom. This is the CBC Evening News. The Employment Rights Tribunal is hearing its first case, but it has nothing to do with the National Conservation Commission workers. When the public hearings began this afternoon at the Warrants Office complex, the first case heard was that of Joel Leacock versus accounting firm KPMG. Peter Thorne reports.
Leacock, a business advisor, was employed with KPMG for almost 2 years before he was given his walk-in papers on September 20, 2013. He subsequently filed a complaint of unfair dismissal on July 10, 2014. Leacock, who took to the stand, is being represented by attorney-at-law Joel Garner, who's contending his dismissal was unfair and didn't follow the proper procedures legally. But attorney-at-law for KPMG, Shariki Mohammed Cumberbatch, argued that Leacock was dismissed for cumulative reasons, including his attitude and alleged intransigence in relation to several things, including missing deadlines set, which the accounting firm absorbed as a financial loss. At the start of the case, Ms. Mohammed Cumberbatch argued the submission for unfair dismissal by the claimant was outside of the 3 months limitation period specified by the law. But Mr. Leacock's lawyer, Ms. Garner, contended she submitted the claim by November 2013, just 3 months shy of his dismissal. The tribunal was asked to rule on the matter, and its chairman, Hal Gollop, agreed that the claim could proceed. Peter Thorne, CBC News.
Hearing of the Joel Leacock versus KPMG resumes on Friday, May 29th at 2 o'clock. Meanwhile, Chairman of the Employment Rights Tribunal, Queen's Counsel Hal Gollop, believes its establishment and hearing of cases are ushering a new chapter in jurisprudence in Barbados. He made the comments as the tribunal got down to hearing its first case in public today.
This session will mark the beginning of what must be regarded as a new jurisprudential era, by which the old doctrine of wrongful dismissal has given way to that of unfair dismissal, pursuant to the introduction of the Employment Rights Act. This will be the first occasion on which the Employment Rights Tribunal will be called upon to exercise the jurisdiction pursuant to the said Employment Rights Act.
Mr. Gollop contends the constitution of the tribunal is equal to the task set and the journey it faces ahead.
This session will mark the beginning of what must be regarded as a new jurisprudential era, by which the old doctrine of wrongful dismissal has given way to that of unfair dismissal, pursuant to the introduction of the Employment Rights Act. This will be the first occasion on which the Employment Rights Tribunal will be called upon to exercise the jurisdiction pursuant to the said Employment Rights Act.
Workers at the Customs Department at the Bridgetown Port are on a go-slow. They took the action this morning as part of protest action. General Secretary of the Unity Workers Union, Caswell Franklin, confirmed this to CBC News, indicating that it was his membership taking the action. Mr. Franklin said it was intended to get the government to rethink its decision to merge the Customs Department with the Barbados Revenue Authority. The UWU head said customs workers feel aggrieved and that they are not being properly represented by the more recognized unions. According to him, those unions seem only to discuss the issues of overtime, which, although important, is not as critical a factor as the BRA issue at this time. Mr. Franklin said protest action at the port will continue indefinitely, and he's given the assurance it could heighten if the matter of the BRA is not addressed. CBC News contacted the NUPW, which is also a leading union representing customs officers, and was told by Deputy General Secretary Delcia Burke that they will be making a comment at a later date. Labour Minister Senator Dr. Esther Bayer believes government has addressed the majority of issues related to the transition of customs officers to the Barbados Revenue Authority. She outlined some of the concerns that were dealt with during debate in the Upper House on the Customs Amendment Bill 2015.
Issues concerning allowances and salaries and what will happen to vacation leave if it hasn't been taken at the time of transition. My understanding is that you would still have your vacation leave. The allowances and the salaries will still be paid at similar rates, if not the same rate. Issues of appointments, the terms and condition of service. These are the questions that are usually asked, and I have seen the fact sheet that speaks to this. The increment dates, always a concern too for officers going from central government to a statutory board. I understand that the increment dates are actually going to remain unchanged. And the issues of the pension is going to be a mixed type of pension, but again, pension issues, which tend to be some of the biggest issues, have been sorted out.
And Opposition Senator Wilfred Abrams is concerned over the amount of power the Comptroller of Customs possesses. He says he does not believe in absolute power. Senator Abrams points to situations where the Comptroller of Customs or his agent can enter a property to examine goods without the minimum standard of reasonable grounds. He says this standard is protected in criminal matters by having to apply for a warrant.
I do not believe the Comptroller of Customs should have any more authority than the Commissioner of Police. I accept he should be able to trace goods into people's private property. I accept where he has reasonable grounds for believing an offense has been committed or a fraud has been perpetrated or there's revenue to be collected, that he should be able to go. But I do believe a fetter should be on that. It should not be an absolute discretion, that the Comptroller of Customs should have to satisfy some other person and obtain a warrant.
The amendments to the Customs Act could go a long way towards boosting Barbados's competitiveness. One of the more significant improvements for Senator Alwyn Adams is the authority given to customs officers to conduct post-clearance audits on goods coming into the island. Senator Adams says once these audits are done efficiently, business facilitation can go faster.
Other countries in this region, we are told, are able to have business that will take us here in Barbados sometimes 3 months, sometimes 6 months. They are able to do that business in a matter of days or weeks. And to that extent, it means a number of things. One, it means that in relation especially to an area like the customs, it means that the holding up of business at the customs is a waste of time. And time wasting will obviously lead to the loss of money, because time is in fact money. And any time that you can do something in less time, it is likely that you would be saving money in that regard.
Senator Adams believes this can all combine to reduce the cost of living. He also wants a series of training workshops and seminars for customs officers so they know what the new regulations entail. After 40 years of diplomatic relations, Barbados is looking to strengthen its cooperation with the government of New Zealand. This from Minister of Foreign Affairs, Senator Maxine McLean, at the opening ceremony of the High Commission of New Zealand at Cullamore Rock, a building it shares with the British High Commission. Peter Thorne reports.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Senator Maxine McLean says Barbados and New Zealand already have technical cooperation initiatives in place and cooperation in education, sports and disaster risk management. She adds that there's potential for cooperation in security, renewable energy, oceans and fisheries, and people-to-people exchanges.
Due to its close relationship with the Pacific Islands, New Zealand has a special understanding of the challenges facing small island developing states. Barbados and the Caribbean community therefore consider New Zealand to be a valuable interlocutor on issues affecting small states. New Zealand also shares the concerns of small states in the Caribbean with regards to small arms and transshipment of nuclear waste. For these reasons, we are grateful for the support you give us in international fora.
Senator McLean also thanked New Zealand's Prime Minister John Key for his developmental assistance to the region in areas of skills development, renewable energy, agriculture and disaster risk management.
I believe that the proximity of the High Commission to my ministry is representative not only of the close relationship we share, but will allow for quick turnaround in matters that we still pursue. I assure you of Barbados' support to ensure that your work environment is both safe and comfortable. The establishment of a diplomatic presence in Barbados provides a substantial foundation on which the common interests of Barbados and New Zealand can be advanced.
The ceremony was attended by the various members of the diplomatic community in Barbados. In response, New Zealand's Foreign Minister Murray McCully lauded the cooperation between the two states, noting that there is much to be gained from the countries of the Pacific Rim and Barbados working together.
We've had good links here for many, many years, but we decided the time had come to lift those links to a different level. In the context of our own deliberations, we had in mind not just New Zealand's relationship with the Caribbean, but New Zealand's relationship with the Pacific and the Caribbean. We're a Pacific country, and it's long been my view that there is much to be gained from having the countries of the Pacific and the countries of the Caribbean work much more closely together.
Minister McCully also cut the ribbon to officially open the High Commission, ushering in the establishment of a diplomatic presence in Barbados. Barbados and New Zealand have enjoyed cordial relations since agreeing to set up diplomatic relations on July 4, 1974. Peter Thorne, CBC News.
Thanks, Peter. We'll have more news in just a moment, but first, we want to get your take on this question. Do you think the go-slow by customs officers will dampen productivity in Barbados? Text yes or no to short code 8111. We'll have the results at the end of the news.
Our life, our restaurant, our family means everything to us. A strong headache, then the pain goes away and our passion comes in.
Panadol Ultra, a combination of ingredients clinically proven to relieve the toughest pains, strong enough to relieve even the pain of migraine. Panadol Ultra, when strong pain is gone, life takes its place.
I don't know why my husband drinks every day. Is someone's drinking breaking your heart? You might be surprised at what you can learn in an Al-Anon family group from people just like you. Call 1-888-4-Al-Anon or go to alanon.org.
Today, you can do everything in just one click. Even keep your toilet clean and fresh. Introducing Lysol Quick Gel, a single-use applicator that helps you avoid contact with germs. Just click it in and recycle to enjoy continuous clean freshness with every flush for a full week. Lysol Quick Gel keeps it clean with one click. Lysol Quick Gel. Start helping.
A warning tonight for all parents. You could be missing some simple signs indicating your child may have a learning disability. This topic was the center of discussion at a parent education program hosted by the Luther Thorne Primary School. Shane Seeley has the story.
Over a dozen parents hearing firsthand why their children could be struggling at school. As part of its parent education program, officials at Luther Thorne Primary invited educational psychologist Natasha Gray to educate parents about early detection of potential problems which could negatively impact their child's learning. She pointed to some common signs in primary school students.
You find that their reading comprehension or math skills are poor. They find it difficult to answer open-ended questions, which is something that you would think is normal, but they find that very difficult. Just finish a sentence for me, and they can't get it done because they can't find a word to replace, to finish a sentence with. They dislike writing, something called dysgraphia. I have students who are brilliant, they 90 average in math and English writing, everything else, but their writing is absolutely weak.
And for younger children, the signs of a learning disability could be as simple as having problems with rhyming.
Bat, cat, leg, peg. Some children cannot understand it or conceptualize it. They don't understand how to rhyme. And this is one of the first signs of a primary child having a learning disability. They have trouble finding the right words, the alphabet. They go A, B, C, D, skip a couple of letters and go on. You have to bring them back. Numbers, same thing. Colors, shapes, the months of the year, days of the week. A lot of children cannot, because they cannot understand sequence and what comes next.
That's why the acting Deputy Chief Education Officer Joy Adamson wants parents to be more involved. She says it increases children's chances of success.
Decades of research has shown that parents who get involved and ask the questions, they can help their children at home. The children will have higher grades. They will stay in school and graduate. There will be better school attendance. There will be increased motivation, better self-esteem, lower rates of suspension, decreases in the use of illegal substances, fewer instances of violent behavior.
The parents were busy taking notes, but afterwards they told me that the program shed some light on several issues.
I think it would be helpful to help me to understand my daughter more and not to get frustrated with her trying to help her with the work.
I think the program is great because up to yesterday my son had homework and some of the things they were talking about were some of the things that I have noticed.
I have a son who has the hyperactive attention deficit, so I just really wanted to find out if it was hereditary. Yes, it is. She said that, so I will just continue to monitor my daughter to see if it possibly is passing on to her.
Shane Seeley, CBC News.
Thanks, Shane. Passing the Common Entrance examination is not the end of the road. This message comes from Governor General Sir Elliot Belgrave, who spoke to students at the St. Giles Primary School this morning. Sir Elliot told the Class 4 pupils to expect challenges as they transition to secondary school.
You'll meet older boys and girls at these schools whose behavior is different from what you're accustomed to at St. Giles. So you have to be able to cope in this new environment. You must not allow peer pressure to tempt you into any improper or other questionable activity.
In an effort to show their appreciation, students welcomed him in song and poetry. Sir Elliot received a gift from the head boy, Trevon Mears, on the behalf of the institution. Some Class 4 pupils also took the time to write him letters telling him what they would like. However, the Governor General told the pupils to cherish their schooling.
Manage your time, manage your work, so that you can do your academic work stuff and still engage in games. School days should be happy days. You should therefore look forward to going to school, to do well, and enjoy your time there. When you get up on mornings, your mother tells you get ready, you have to go in bed and comb your hair, clean your shoes. Do not regard that as something to be angry about. You shouldn't have to be told to get ready. You should be eager, bounding to get to the bus.
The post-mortem on 12-year-old Shamar Patrick Weeks is still yet to be done. The preteen's lifeless body was found hanging in a shed in his St. Lucie home last Friday. The post-mortem was originally scheduled for yesterday but was delayed by the authorities. That delay was confirmed by a statement from Acting Assistant Commissioner in charge of Crime Management and Investigations, Mark Thompson. He also gave the reason why, saying, having considered all the issues in the case and the dire consequences of misinformation, it is the reasoned judgment of the authorities that a more scientific approach, which is not available here, should be employed. The senior officer adds that measures to procure the necessary scientific services have already been employed. The Acting Assistant Commissioner also says forensic evidence often forms part of the professional investigative services the force is obligated to deliver and is frequently the most critical determinant of the integrity of the services. Well, in an effort to motivate students, the English department at the Grandly Adams Memorial School leaned on its old scholars at a career showcase. They were invited in to talk about their occupations. The initiative is part of the school's 60th anniversary celebrations.
The showcase appears to have sparked the students' interest, and based on the numbers gathered around the exhibits, it was reasonable to say they were enjoying themselves. Head of the English department, Margot Green, says the plan was to help students gain confidence in going after their goals.
The principal was looking at the fact that the students need to understand that students who attend Grandly Adams could achieve at any level, that you become If you want to be a doctor, you can be a doctor. If you want to be a fireman, if you want to be a teacher, you can become whatever you want to be.
During the workshop, CBC News spoke to several students who shared what they learned.
I think it's very good that all the old scholars came out and helped us and tried to lift us up and show us that, we are strong enough, we are brave enough to do whatever we want. We can accomplish whatever task we want to accomplish. We can do whatever we want to do. That's what we learned here today.
I've learned a lot about different businesses and how to do and what not to do. I've also understand more things about the business, and it was very educational.
I learned about the police force and the electronics, like how to operate different types of wires and things like how to, if you got a problem in the house with the current, how to use certain wires for certain things.
I learned that with the things that you do of this modern day life, that we would have to that it will impact us later on in life. That we have officers that went to school at this school. We have artists that went to school here. We have the barbers and everyone, and we can be very well, although people say that this school is very low, and we can boost this here and we can go to higher levels at this school.
Coordinator of the workshop, Keisha Russell-Graves, says the feedback from the event has been good.
The students, they have enjoyed it. A lot of them, they have spoken about the great value of seeing all the past students coming in and speaking to them. And they've even commented that, it has thus motivated them to let them know that they can achieve anything that they aspire to achieve.
Ms. Russell-Graves says she is happy for the students and says in the future, more workshops will be held at the school.
Still to come, a look at some of the stories making headlines across the region. But first, a reminder that we want to hear from you on the question: do you think the ghost